On the surface, the December jobs report looked good, but a closer examination reveals trouble. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Last Friday, the Labor Department released its monthly jobs report, and the initial reaction was positive. 216,000 new jobs were created, far above expectations of 170,000. Naturally, the White House was delighted, touting it as proof that Bidenomics is working. The Bidenites, however, should recork the champagne bottles. Problems lurk beneath the happy headline that don't bode well for the economy. And they point to things that make this Labor Department report rather weird. For starters, the jobs numbers for the previous 2 months were revised downward by 71,000. Thus, the actual net gain was only 145,000. A large part of the jobs gain, moreover, came in government, healthcare, big chunk of which is related to the government, and social assistance. Private sector job growth lagged. Business investment remains weak. That's not healthy. Meanwhile, government spending is surging. But the government doesn't create resources. The private sector does. Government takes in money and then spends it, and more, creating deficits. That revision isn't a one-time event. In the past year, the number of jobs created has been revised just about every month, totaling some 440,000 jobs lost. Now, this raises serious questions about reliability. The jobs report is actually made up of 2 different surveys. One, called the Establishment Survey, gets data from businesses. The other, the Household Survey, gets its information from individuals. That 216,000 number came from the Establishment Survey. The unemployment number is derived from the Household Survey. Here we come to something weird. The jobs numbers of the 2 surveys are different. Usually over time, the totals come close to each other. But in recent months, this has not been the case. Contrary to the 216,000 jobs gain initially highlighted, the Household Survey found a jobs decline of almost 700,000. It also found that the overall labor force fell by almost 700,000. And here we get to another thing. In both surveys, gross numbers are extrapolated from samples. They are not like a consensus where they try to count everybody. In this sense, they're more like polls. One growing problem is that the response rate to both are declining. Who knows how this is affecting what is happening in the real world versus what comes out of government computer models? Which gets to another problem, seasonal adjustments. For instance, this month, the actual number of people working will drop by hundreds of thousands. During the holiday season, there is a surge in part-time employment to meet demand. Most of these people leave the workplace after the holidays. Yet the January jobs report, which will come out in early February, will show an increase in jobs because the jobs number will have been adjusted for this seasonal change. Another weirdo and misleading. Both raw numbers and adjusted numbers should be released with equal prominence. The conclusions are clear. That jobs report has real problems, and the economy is not strong. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.